Oversight Committee meeting tomorrow to vote on the contempt of Congress charges against FBI Director Christopher Wray. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy commenting on this yesterday. Watch.
Speaker McCarthy, how quickly could you move contempt for Director Wray?
The House Oversight Committee posting on Twitter this, accusing Democrats of spreading disinformation about the Biden bribery document. As you can see, unsurprisingly, Democrats are spreading disinformation about yesterday's FBI briefing on the Biden bribery scheme. Chairman James Comer says it's being used as an ongoing FBI investigation and alleging then Vice President Joe Biden participated in a $5 million criminal bribery scheme in exchange for changes in U.S. policy. Joining me now is Tennessee Congressman, member of the House Oversight and Foreign Affairs Committees. Tim Burchett is here. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here this morning. What's going on in terms of this document? Do you think the committee will see it? What's in it?
Well, I think, Maria, what we're really seeing is more of this administration just trying to hide the facts that there is a lot of corruption that went on. To me, it's kind of damning of the Justice Department to keep delaying releasing these things to us. We've requested it. Chairman Comer has done a good job of laying out the facts, and they've continued to put their head in the sand about the whole thing.
You know, I don't understand how it is possible that the Oversight Committee is being denied your ability to have oversight of this. What are you going to do at the end of the day in the face of all of this stonewalling?
Well, I keep saying the same thing about it. We need to go back to what Congress has the power to do, and that's the power of the purse. If these departments refuse to play ball with us, we need to start cutting their funding. They're obviously putting justice on the back burner and allowing their own personal political beliefs to run the show, and that's just not what it's supposed to be about. And unfortunately, that's what we're seeing time and time again from the FBI and all the other investigative bodies that are dealing with this. Chairman Comer has clearly laid out the facts, and we have, and the American public is demanding that we get to the bottom of it.
Well, I mean, I want to ask you about that power of the purse, because over the debt ceiling debate, did you lose some of that ability of the power of the purse because of the rules around the appropriations? Here's former House Speaker Newt Gingrich with me suggesting how House Republicans might deal with this, with keeping the FBI in check. Watch this.
I think they should dig in their heels and insist on the changes. You and I have discussed it before. They should kill the FBI's proposed $3.5 billion headquarters, a building larger than the Pentagon. It's an absurdity to create, but that's going to require one day at a time, hanging tough, taking one fight at a time, including all 12 appropriations bills, and insisting on the investigations actually being performed in an effective way.
Congressman, the FBI wants $3.5 billion for new headquarters. Isn't it true with these new rules around the debt ceiling that if the Senate does not get its work done, even if you all in the House get your work done, you send it over to the Senate with your power of the purse, holding back money for the FBI, Chuck Schumer can just sit it out, you know, stall it, slow walk it, and then the money goes back to 2023 levels, and boom, the FBI gets its money.
Yes, ma'am, and they're talking about over $3.5 billion total dollars. $233 million is what the administration's requesting at this time, and Speaker Gingrich is absolutely correct. And I did not vote for the debt ceiling. I'm one of four, as you know, that did not, that has not ever voted for it. Congressman Buck, Biggs, Matt Gaetz out of Florida, and myself are the only four who did not vote for it. And those are some of the reasons that we didn't. You know, there's $4 trillion in added debt. This debt's going to cripple us in this country, as you well know, and we just are not taking a very serious view of it. And this is just another case. They're going to build a building bit larger than the Pentagon, for goodness sakes. You know, when I was the mayor of Knox County. I remember I was talking to some of the old timers about a building across the street that they bought for the education department. And somebody said, well, what are they going to do with that building? And one of the old timers said they're going to fill it. And that's exactly what the FBI will do with this new monstrosity. It's ridiculous. And they continue just to subvert justice. They've been sitting on this Hunter Biden thing for over 5 years now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Congressman, this is unbelievable. It is so disturbing. Congressman, we're going to be watching your work on holding the line here for that headquarters on the FBI. Thank you, sir. We'll be watching.